Made this larger one for them today, give them some more room. This is the part of making videos you guys don't see. I have to walk all the way back to the camera and make sure the audio's working, and I hit record. Yep, it's all working. So welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. It is a windy day here in Tennessee and it's springtime, which means it's time to get some more chickens. They're in the garage. Let me show them to you. We got 6 more. All right, guys, look over the mess. We had to make some accommodations here for the new girls. And here they are. Hello, girls. Y'all enjoying this big old pen we got you in? We had them in a small brooder when we brought them home about 2 weeks ago. And my wife, who handles all the chickens, made this larger one for them today, give them some more room. So we got 6 more, like I was saying, and I have no idea what breed they are. We got them at Tractor Supply, and hopefully there's no roosters, but when you get chickens at Tractor Supply, you never know. So we've had the other chickens for just about 2 years now. There's 14 of them. And a word to the wise, if you're going to go to Tractor Supply and get chickens, they're not always what they say they are. We thought we was getting hens, and we had 1 rooster in the last bunch that we got from Tractor Supply. He ended up in the freezer though. My wife does not like roosters. John Henry in here today with us. Hello, John. You gonna wake up? Hey, John. There you go. You doing okay, buddy? That's Cabbage's brother right there, in case anybody's wondering. He looks nothing like him. So I got a lot to get done today, and the first thing I need to work on is going over to the new property and finishing up mowing the front field. Man, it's windy out here today, my goodness. I tell you what though, for March the 30th, even though it's pretty windy out here, it's hard to complain about the weather. It's about 65 degrees. Hard to beat. All right, guys, while I drive down here to the other property, a little announcement for September, and I can't remember what the date is. I'll try to put it right here and it will be in the video description. I'm going to be doing some speaking, not really some speaking, I'm going to be a guest speaker at a Homestead conference in West Virginia in September. And I think it's Charleston, West Virginia. I should have looked at this stuff before I told you guys about it. I can't remember now, to be honest with you. I got it written down in my calendar. So if this is your first time hearing about this conference and you're in West Virginia, there's a link down below. You can go check it out. The keynote speaker is Joe Salatin. Most of you guys probably know who he is. I've read a lot of his books. I'm really looking forward to meeting him. And I think there's a few other guest speakers as well. My friend Chuck over near Boone, North Carolina, he's a farmer. He's going to be talking to a few other people. But there is a link down below, and there is an admission. You got to buy tickets for this. But I'll be speaking on the Saturday. It's a 2-day conference, Friday and Saturday, and I'll be there Saturday. So if you're in the area that time of year, or if you live close by, go buy a ticket and come hang out with me on that Saturday. Should make for a pretty good time. I'm really looking forward to it. And like I said earlier, there's links down below. A little bit of a tight turn going in, but I think I'll be okay. Try to avoid those manhole covers. There we go. I'll tell you what, this attachment, this mower on the back, you can turn on a dime with it. Man, that done better than I thought it would. So I forgot to mention, there's a YouTube channel called Red Tool House. That's a friend of mine. His name is Troy. He's up in West Virginia, and he is co-hosting this homesteading conference. I'll leave a link down below to his YouTube channel, and also to my buddy Chuck as well. He's a farmer over in North Carolina. He's going to be there also, and I'll leave a link to his channel down there in the video description. So go check those guys out. Good videos, a lot of knowledge. I watch those guys all the time And something that's kind of funny, when Troy reached out to me about being in this conference, he didn't realize that I watched his channel. I'm trying to change gears with my left hand and hold the camera. It's kind of difficult. So I think it kind of surprised him that I was actually one of his biggest fans, because I never comment usually. If I watch your channel, you'll probably never know it because I don't comment hardly ever. But anyways, good people right there. Go check out their channel. They deserve some attention. They put out some good videos. And nowadays on YouTube, it's extremely hard to get noticed. Very difficult. It was a lot easier when I started back in 2015. So I mowed some of this yesterday with the smaller T25. I mowed up there around the house where it was a little steep, but I left this strip right here in the middle, and it's about an acre. And I thought we could do that with the finish mower a lot faster than I could do it with the T25. And some of you guys have been asking about the status of this property, what's going on with it. Well, pretty much nothing here over the past few weeks. Look at that hog up there. That's a pretty hog. Stay away from my chickens. But nothing's happened over here for the past few weeks because of all the rain that we've gotten here recently. We got a lot of rain here in the past month, and it's been really wet down here toward the creek. And I could have did some work down here, but I would have probably made a mess. It looks like before we get to mowing, I got a few pear trees to move out of the way. I thought I took these to the burn pile the other day, but evidently, looks like I left a few of them. My goodness. All right, friends, got that finished up. That didn't take too long. That last tent mower does an awesome job at cutting the grass, friends. My goodness, look at that. Looks like a golf course out here. Now right here, you can see where the grass is shorter. That's where I mowed with the smaller tractor yesterday. But I think I might be able to come down that hill with this mower and be okay. We might try that the next time, I don't know. I would rather be mowing with that thing, with the air conditioner going and making less passes, than on my other tractor that doesn't have a canopy or nothing like that. I have to make a lot more passes and burn a lot more fuel. By having this mower here at the farm, less tractor time, more sawmill time. And that's what I'm after. Good deal. Well, that's one job done for the day. Let's take the tractor back up to the house and go check on the kiln. I think that cherry's just about done. We're back up here at the main property, heading down here to the kiln to check it out. I set it on sterilization mode yesterday about 6 o'clock, and it should be done here in about 2.5 hours. That's one good thing about this kiln. You can set it on sterilization mode, which means you run the temperature up to 150 degrees or whatever you want to do it to. I do 150, I think that's the proper setting. And then you set the kiln to run at 24 hours at 150 degrees. And after 24 hours, it automatically shuts down. So you're pretty much done with the load at that point. You come down here about 2 or 3 days later, open up the doors, and get the lumber out. It's pretty simple. In the kiln, we're drying 4-quarter cherry. I think I got about 1,500 board feet in there. I can't remember. and it took about 9 days to dry that in my kiln. Granted, this stuff was air dry. I sawed it last summer. The moisture content was around 15% on most of the lumber when it went into the kiln. And right before I started the sterilization cycle, the moisture had got down to 7.5, which I consider more than good enough for my area for kiln dried lumber for cabinet makers and woodworkers, which is where this cherry is headed. All right, guys, look over the camera glare. I'm doing the best I can. So we're on the heat treat mode, which it says right there. The run time is currently 1,261 minutes. If you go over to the mode right there and type that in, the minutes set at the target is 1,440. So we're just about there. Once it hits 1440 on the minutes, the kiln was shut down. Now, something else I like to do on the kiln, friends, a lot of people don't think about maybe, is once this is over with, as far as the heat treat goes, I got an alarm on my phone, so I'll come down here right when it's done, or shortly after, within an hour or two, and I'll turn the kiln back on, and I will set it for 120 on the heat. Therefore, the exhaust fan will kick on and get rid of the extra heat and the extra moisture in the air that came out of the lumber during the heat treat cycle. And once that's done, it usually takes about 45 minutes or so, I'll shut it down permanently until 2 or 3 days later, and I'll open up the doors. I never open up the doors once the lumber's done. I let it sit in there and rest for a couple of days and let the temperature naturally go down inside the kiln. I think that's important also. I would not want to open up these doors right when this load is done and kind of shock the lumber with a different environment after it's been in this hot condition or this heated condition. I'll rephrase that, inside this controlled condition, which it has been for the past 9 days. Real fast, friends, I want to show you guys what we're going to be sawmilling tomorrow on the next video. All this black walnut, and these are customer logs. They came in about 2 weeks ago. And the one I'm really looking forward to is this nice crotch log right here. It's about a 5-footer, and it should have some really nice figure right there. And I was hoping to get the burn pile going today, but this wind is not cooperating. Maybe tomorrow. I got a lot of slabs down there and some black walnut sawdust as well to get rid of. That's one thing about walnut. The sawdust, you can't do much with it. You can't compost it or put it in your garden because it'll kill all your plants. It's pretty toxic. All right, friends, on the sawmill, we got an eastern red cedar. Some of you guys call it juniper, and you get fighting mad in the comments when I call it cedar. We all know what it is. It's red and has a lot of sapwood in it, usually in my region, and it smells good, and it's pretty rot resistant. So no use in getting upset over what I call it. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. 8 foot 2 inches on the length. And this right here, friends, is a good size cedar as far as the diameter. Down here on the operator's side, 17 inches. But I did see something on this log I did not see when I brought it over from the log yard, and that is that void right down there. I'll move the camera over here in just a second and show that to you guys. That's bad right there. That's really going to affect the way I saw up this log, but I'll explain to you guys my strategy on getting the best lumber out of it. We're doing 2x6s. I'm doing nominal on the width, or the thickness rather, 1.5 inches. But on the width, I'm doing a standard 6 inches, so an actual dimension on that. These will be made into raised garden beds for the garden this year that I need to get started on yesterday. But I got to finish up this cedar first. I got 7 more cedars left after this one, and this is actually the biggest one we have left. I think that one in the back may be bigger. So before I show you guys this, on the Sawmill, we got a Maine Silvertip Turbo 7. If you want to try those blades out, call Maine. Cell phone number is in the video description. All right guys, we're on the far end, and the diameter down here is actually about 12 inches, but you see this void right here. Now some of you guys would call this a bar conclusion. Some people call it a void. It really depends on what kind of log grader is looking at this. I've seen log graders call stuff that I wouldn't think that's what it is, but that's what they call it. And when they're buying the timber, you go by their rules. I would call this a bar conclusion right here, and it goes in pretty deep, about 3 inches right there, and it pretty much, man, it wreaks havoc on a log like this because you got this on the underside, or this side of the tree rather, and it takes away of your width, especially if you're doing wider boards, which we're doing 6 inches wide. That's not really wide for a log like this. If we're doing live edge slabs, you know, that would take away of a lot of it. But here's how I'm going to fight this and try to get the best lumber possible out of this cedar. And it should work. Key word is, it should work. Here's what we're going to do, friends. I'm going to pretend this face of the log, the entire length, has already been sawed and not even think about this. So the first cut, I will put this on the very bottom of the sawmill. Now this log does have a little bit of a sweep to it, but I think that'll be okay. It's not really that much to fool with. So the first cut, we'll put this on the bottom and ignore it. And my second cut, I'll probably come up on one of the sides and ignore this again and get 3 flat surfaces. Then after we get 3 flat faces, we'll put this on the bottom of the sawmill again, and I'll pretend like this is squared up and not even think about it, and I'll come down through here and cut my 6/4 boards until I get down here to this nasty stuff on the bottom. You'll have to edge the boards that we saw off the top of this log because they will be wider than 6 inches. That's the best strategy, I think, to fool with something like this, is to kind of ignore it, act like you've already sawed into it, then put it on the bottom. And once you get down to getting close to this and you start seeing this giant void in your boards, you're pretty much done. And something else I'll probably try to do after we make that third cut and we put that void on the bottom of the sawmill, if I got 12 or 14 inches of height, I'll come down 6 inches and cut a 6-inch cant off of that, discard it to the loading arms, and then I'll cut my boards the rest of the way down, and those boards will be edged. And then we'll put that 6-inch cant back up here and set our pattern mode for 6/4 and cut all of those, and that will greatly decrease the amount of edging we have to do. I don't like to do a lot of edging on the sawmill. I'm probably going to buy myself an edger sometime this year. I'm just not sure when. There's a lot of stuff going on right now here at the property. Easy there, Win. I'm trying to talk to the camera. So there's a lot of stuff going on here at the farm this spring and this summer. And a lot of this stuff going on you guys don't know about yet, but you will sooner than later. And I think I'm going to try to get an edger, maybe late summer, early fall, something like that. Depends on how fast Wood-Mizer can build one. I'm not sure if there's a wait on edgers right now or not. I guess I should call them and find out. right, guys, we got 5 2x6s out of that log and these 3 timbers right here on the mill. The first 2 are 4x4s and the top one is a 3x3. And if you look over here on the far end, you'll see that void that I showed you guys before we start on this log. I was able to capture it on these 2 4x4s. That 3x3 has a little bit of wane, but not too much. Almost every bit of it is on these 4x4s. And this is good because I need my 4x4s on the raised beds to be 4 feet long. And I got 6 feet on both of these. So, not too bad. That was a good strategy. It worked out good. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But as far as today goes, that was the right decision to put this on the bottom of the sawmill. Now I did make a face cut on this void before I put it on the bottom of the mill, just to see what I was looking at. I didn't talk about that earlier, but I did do that on the 3rd or 4th cut. I can't remember, but I did open up that face just to have a flat reference off of to work from. Now I know that might have been a little confusing on this log as far as what I did on the process. I know it's probably as clear as mud, but maybe somebody out there has been wondering how to saw up a log like that, and maybe it might help them. All right, guys, next up on the sawmill, we got some more cedar. This is another 8-footer. The diameter is 10 inches. I need 9 inches in order to get a 6-inch cant out of this, so we're good right there. And we'll probably get maybe 4 to 5 2x6s out of this, probably 4. They should be nice and straight because this right here, friends, in my opinion, is an ideal saw log for red cedar. It's not too big, so you don't have any voids in it, and it's got limited sapwood, and it's nice and straight. This should be a good one. And when I get done with this one, I need to work on those over there so I can get this knocked out and start building up these raised beds. Guys, just got through with that log. It looks like we got some visitors back here in the field behind the sawmill. Looks like about maybe 6 of them back there. Hopefully this comes through on the video. I can't zoom in with this GoPro, but yep, looks like 5 or 4 and maybe 2 babies amongst them right there. Not seen a lot of deer this spring. That's the first time I've seen a decent amount back here in the field. It never fails, the deer just stop what they're doing and they stare at you. It's kind of funny watching them here. This field right behind the sawmill does not belong to me, it belongs to another neighbor. But I do have a trail camera on a fence post right behind me facing that direction. And my goodness, at nighttime, fox, coyote, all kinds of stuff come through this field at night. All kinds of stuff. So that was a pretty good log. We got 4 2x6s out of it. Now I'm heading down here to the chicken house and put the girls up for the night. And for those of you out there that have chickens, I have a question for you. We got several nesting boxes in here and the chickens quit using them for some reason. Now they're putting the eggs on the floor in the very back corner. And it's not that I mind a whole lot, it's just that it's hard to get to. Let me show you. All right, so, hello girls. Y'all getting ready for bed? I won't bother you too much here. So right there's the nesting boxes. We have what, 6 of them. They've been using these for 2 years, but for some reason here lately, nobody's using them anymore. And these girls are getting back there in that corner. Let me get the flashlight out. My goodness, you guys probably can't see back here. I can barely see myself. So right there, we got 5 it looks like. They're getting back there in that corner and laying their eggs. Why are they doing that? You people out there with chickens that know more than me, which is probably about everybody, let me know down in the comments. I would rather them lay the eggs in the nesting boxes. Calm down now, I'm almost done. I'll be out here in a second. But I don't really mind them doing that. It's just they're hard to get to back there in that corner. You guys let me know down in the comments. I'm not sure what's going on with these girls. Before I put them up for bed, I always do a head count and make sure all 14 of them are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, they're all here. You girls don't know it, but you got 6 baby sisters that will be here in about 5 or 6 weeks that are in the garage. Well, I got them out of there. Looks like we got about 5, and I'm pretty sure those chickens were laughing at me when I was on the floor crawling around. All right, guys, back up here at the sawmill. I'm gonna get things cleaned up, stack these 2x6s out of the way, and get ready for tomorrow. We need to finish up that cedar and bring up those customer logs, the black walnut that I showed you guys earlier, and try to knock those out tomorrow so they can come get them. So in closing, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.